He is like all Russians. He is a single-minded killing machine.
Yeah. Okay. So then, but okay. So then,
But this is real. We're real people here, you sociopathic monster. Hi, welcome to Hav and Charles Talk Comics. I'm Charles, and we're here tonight to talk about Batman and the Beast with Two Backs and Gwenpool. Hi, Hav. How you doing?
hi, Charles. Oh yeah, you've been calling it that since I suggested it, and it just keeps getting funnier every time you say that.
It amuses the hell out of me. I think I told you I was going to call it that, too.
And just so everybody knows, there's not a Batman arc called Beast with Two Backs that I know of. Anyways, there's probably some fanfic out there that is called that. It's Batman 10 Nights of the Beast. Just so everybody knows.
I got confused. I get confused. And Shakespearean.
That's true.
Yes. And for the first time in like 3 podcasts, I did the open in one take.
Boom. Okay, and that concludes this episode of Hav and Charles Talk Comics, because that's a wrap. Landed it. First take.
Yes, first take. So, do you want to start with... Obviously, we're going to start with the Batman and Beast thing, because it is the older comic, but we actually can do a letters segment.
What?
Yes.
What?
We've got mail. It's letter time. It's letter time. Hey, hey, it's letter time. It's letter time. It's letter time right now. So, do you think we should read the mail?
Please.
Okay. I'm going to read the mail, and you can act surprised as if I didn't already send you this right after I got it.
Right. I can do that.
Okay. Excellent. Oh, my gosh. He says this, and now he can't find it. This is a professional podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So very professional. On September 18th, 2021... Patrick Herring, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, wrote, holy shit.
No relation, right?
Oh, yeah, no relation. It's not my younger brother in any way whatsoever who did the music for the podcast. Back to reading. Holy shit. I can hear Hav really clearly. Wait, why does Charles now sound like he's been recorded off the radio? Man, I'm glad I had already read Y the Last Man before listening. I hadn't completely put into words what bothered me about that comic, but now that Charles mentioned it, all of society breaking down because there was no one around with a penis does seem a bit far-fetched.
Yeah.
My children are glad that you love them more than Star Wars. Not that they know what Star Wars is yet, Patrick. So I would like to thank my brother, Patrick, for emailing us. It's wonderful. And as I did say, I would read emails on the air, and now we have. So now no one has to send us an email to our email address, which is havandcharlestalkcomics@gmail.com. So no one send us an email at havandcharlestalkcomics@gmail.com, or we'll be forced to read them on the air.
Right. So don't do that now. Now we're good. It's all reverse psychology, eh? Don't send us an email, so we don't have to read it on the air. There you go.
And that
Thank
was
you,
our
Patrick.
Thank you very much. And that was our letter segment, brought to you by the Public Library.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So, Batman, 10 Nights of the Beast. Why did you want to read that?
I started reading this. I had read a few issues of Batman right after year one. I came to find out later. I started picking up Batman monthly pretty consistently right after year one, like a month or two after year one finished. That then led into this, and it just stuck out of my head for a couple reasons. It was very Cold War-ish, not Cold War-ish. It was Cold War. It was in the middle of the Cold War.
There was no ish about it. That was absolutely the Cold War. It was damn near an episode of the. Oh damn it! I'm blanking on the FX show.
What, 24?
No, the
Man
KGB,
from Uncle.
No, the KGB.
Oh, the
FX.
Americans.
The Americans. Yeah.
I never saw it.
From Uncle. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, then I forgive you for not knowing the name of it. Yeah, no. It was definitely very, very USA. It was all about the Star Wars program. And
The Strategic Defense Initiative, yes.
Yes. So, yeah, definitely Cold War. And Ronald Reagan had a cameo in it. I guess he didn't have a cameo in it. He was in issue 4 of the... Issue 4 of the arc, and I did almost say episode.
Yeah, you did. You know you wanted to.
I did kind of want to. So the bad guy in this was the KG Beast, right? KGB Beast or KG Beast.
Right.
He's like a Bane knockoff, but he's KGB, and for the rest of this, I will be calling him the Crimson Dynamo. The Crimson Dynamo.
Well, and speaking of knockoff of Bane, if memory serves, I looked this up years ago. I think KG Beast predates Bane.
Oh, I imagine he does. It wouldn't surprise me. You look at how he's drawn and what's going on with him, and all I see is Bane. And unfortunately, I just finished binging, and I do mean binging, the Harley Quinn show. So that's the Bane I think about now when I see Bane.
Good. That's awesome. No, but so, and I had a little, I say that a few months ago, I had a little back and forth on the old comic book Twitter with somebody who mentioned that they and I looked it up. KG Beast is a Soviet Union KGB agent that is all sorts of juiced up on something that makes him extraordinarily strong, quick, and he's just a cold-blooded killer that's been on various assignments around the globe and predates Bane. But then the back and forth I had with, and I don't remember the comic book Twitter person I had this back and forth with, kind of went the way of the dodo, because this came out in 88, and not too long after that, the wall comes down, the Soviet Union collapses, or, turns into Russia, and the states like Ukraine and Belarus all go their separate ways. So KG Beast relevance, it goes down a little bit. You really don't have a reason to use KG Beast, I would think. So their thought was, hey, we like this character, let's repackage, repurpose, not rename. And hey, look, now we've got this character Bane.
Yeah, no, that's probably something that happened, but we learned since I made the Crimson Dynamo joke, you can bring these characters back in a different way.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the KG Beast has now I'm going to just call him the KG Beast.
Yeah, that's what I call him. KG Beast.
No,
KG Beast.
What I'm saying is KG Beast. He's a KG Beast. I would not mind seeing him come back. I have to be blunt. I didn't think it was that strong an arc. It had a lot more politics in it than I was expecting. Anything going on, I expected Batman to be a little darker. I mean, there he was in his blue, which is, I always think of him wearing a blue costume.
Me too.
The blue costume, and I'd like to see a little more Robin in this instead of him just being there once and at one point saving the day with an amazing swing. But other than that, there's no Robin interaction.
This is very nostalgic for me.
Okay.
That's why I suggested it. I hadn't read it. I had not read it probably since back then. I maybe reread it. Like I would as a kid, I probably reread it ad nauseum, every year or two for a few years after, since I had the issues, and went like, let me go look at that. It was a very nostalgic suggestion on my part. It's so political, over the top. So it is. Okay, so the plot is this KG Beast has gone rogue. So the Soviet Union sends over their KGB guy, whose name I'm blanking on. I had it written down here somewhere.
Dmitri something.
Dmitri, of course. Yeah.
Well, we're going to call him Dmitri. Whether or not I'm right, we're calling him Dmitri.
Oh, shoot, I have all sorts of notes here and I can't find it. But anyways, say they send over their KGB guy to warn the United States that, hey, his old handler committed suicide by cyanide, and sent over the KGBs to execute this one plan to try to eliminate everybody involved with a strategic defense initiative, otherwise known as Star Wars, that Reagan was spearheading at the time, that ended up going nowhere, by the way, because the science wasn't there. And then, as the kids say, hijinks ensue, because everything's happening in Gotham, in and around Gotham, and Batman knows what's going on, Commissioner Gordon's involved, the CIA, NSA is involved, and they're trying to track down the KG Beast. And there's a hit list. Is it like 10? Well, he ends up killing lots of people. By the way, lots of people.
Yeah.
A lot of our suggestions. Lots of people die. And for example, at one point, he just kills a whole ballroom of people to get to one guy.
Yes,
at a reception.
They had to make sure that everyone knew that the Russians were bad.
Right.
You have to remember, you said it was 1988, and people weren't positive at that point in American society that the Russians were bad. I mean, this was pure propaganda.
It is over the top. By the way, and like the CIA would cooperate with the mass vigilante like Batman, and like, well, I guess they really didn't want to, or was it the FBI? I
The
forget.
FBI didn't want to. The
Yeah,
FBI
that's
didn't
right, the
want to,
FBI.
but the CIA was willing. And if you're gonna look at it that way, I would say between the two, the CIA would be willing to cooperate with the masked vigilante. The problem there is the CIA does not operate on American soil.
We're not supposed to anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
So
Talk about that after 9/11.
Right.
Yeah, they're all over the place. But this is our moment of politics. Oh wait, this whole thing is political. So
Yeah, this is so political.
yes. Yes.
Oh, and speaking of Robin, so the Robin in this
Is it
you
Tim
know,
Drake?
this is no, it's Jason Todd.
That was Jason Todd.
That's Jason Todd. Jason Todd is the second Robin that comes immediately after Dick Grayson,
Uh-huh.
and who eventually is killed in the arc that comes not too long after this, Batman: A Death in the Family.
Okay, so I thought this was after that, and that was just my supposition was that was Tim Drake.
Mm-mm,
Okay.
no. It's Jason, and of course,
It was a toned
Big
down
spo-
Jason because he was not annoying as all but Jesus. As a matter of fact, it was about as milquetoast as a Robin has ever been in any Batman comic I've ever read where there's a Robin.
yeah, and he, like you said, doesn't play a huge role at all in this story. He's around a couple times, and then like I said, A Death in the Family happens, and that's when famously. I know we're not talking about that, but there was a poll that you call like it was a paid number, like a 1-900 number. You could either vote that the Joker should die, or Robin at the time, Jason Todd, should die, or vice versa.
No.
What
It
was
was
it?
just whether Jason Todd lives or dies.
I thought it was whether the Joker should die versus
No.
whether Jason Todd should die.
No. It wasn't.
Oof. I remember seeing that in the Batman comics, thinking, okay, there's no way they're going to kill off the new Robin, and then, geez Louise,
People
that got dark fast.
evidently hated that Robin.
Yeah,
well,
they really did.
Yeah, and basically he was just a knockoff Dick Grayson. They just put red hair on him, right? He's a redhead, right? Colorblind.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. He was a kind of a ne'er-do-well, I forget his backstory. I don't know if his dad died too, but
Yes.
anyways, that's a bunny trail. So look, there's not much to say. So it's 4 issues of Batman trying to track down the KG Beast. The KG Beast is eliminating everybody on the list, going from bottom to top, and at the top of the list is none other than Ronald Reagan, who's going to be at Gotham, and that's who ultimately the Batman has to protect. And at one point, I thought this was an interesting, cool scene in the comic where Batman's battling the KG Beast in like the 3rd issue, maybe 2nd or 3rd issue, and he's falling, and he gets one of his grappling things around his wrist, and he says, "Oh, I got him,"
Yeah.
because I'm not going to let go, and the only way he could get out of this is if there's no way he would do that. Oh, he's doing it, and the KG Beast cuts off his wrist, cuts
Yes.
his hand off at the wrist
Well,
to escape.
He's a KG Beast. He chewed off his own
Boom.
arm.
Drop the mic. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in again to Hav and Charles Star Comics, because that's just where we're going to end it for tonight. No, you're right. He's a KG Beast. That just happens to go by KG Beast.
He will do anything. He will do anything to complete his mission. He is like all Russians. He is a single-minded killing machine.
Right. Then you do have a little interesting interaction because Batman doesn't kill, and and Batman's having some interaction with the CIA agent in charge, Ralph Bundy, about Bundy's kind of telling Batman, "Hey, you know what we might need to do with the KG Beast, or what kind of hint you might need to do."
Well, beyond that, yeah, he just says if we take him captive, when we take that mask off, he's going to be a member of the embassy team, and he's going to have diplomatic immunity, and then they're going to ship him back to Russia. They're going to mind wipe him and send him off to kill people again.
And then he's going to turn into the Winter Soldier. Different universe. Sorry. No, yeah. So, look, I suggested it kind of not silencing because I had read it, albeit like back in the 80s, late 80s, obviously. There's not much to this. I kind of felt bad after I suggested it and read it, thinking, yeah, okay. There's not a bunch here, but it's very. You've used this phrase before that I'm going to adopt. It is very much a comic of its time, and holy crap, it's a time capsule of the Cold War and how. Hey, even it got into comic books. This is written by the great Jim Starlin and illustrated by, as I've said many times on my Twitter, my Batman artist, Jim Aparo. The covers were by Mike Zeck. Really cool covers, by the way, to the 4-issue arc. I don't know if you noticed that. But the interior art is by longtime Batman artist on a lot on Brave and the Bold and some Batman titles, Jim Aparo.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I didn't dislike it. It just didn't do that much for me. So, Batman doesn't kill.
Yeah.
So, in this, the final battle is basically a chase through Gotham sewers.
Yeah.
And let's be blunt, Batman is getting his ass kicked by the Beast because he's just like Bane and he's all hyped up. He fights as well as Batman, and then he's hyped up on all these drugs, so he's stronger and fights as good as he is. And he keeps referring to him. I have to say this. The referring to him as an animal, he fights like an animal. It's like, dude, you're dressed like a bat. You fight like an animal. Come on. Come on, Bruce. Oh, just as a side note, you called him the Batman. Do you think his friends call him the?
Yeah, they do. Just, hey, the
Batman, how are you? Call me the.
Yeah, that's Mr. Man to you. That's my middle name.
So he's finally gotten him into the sewers. They're on a merry chase, and Batman knows the sewers because there was another case. You know, you didn't even nowadays they would just say. They wouldn't say there was once a case that led me down here. It'd just be like, because Batman knows everything, it would be along the lines of, I have mapped out every trace of this sewer. I know every shortcut. I know what the sewer is thinking at all times. I am Batman.
I am the city.
Yes, I am the sewer.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound disrespectful for Batman. Oh, wait, no, I do. Anyway, so he sees there's a door that's coming up, and Batman goes, the door I expected. And in runs the KG Beast, and he's trapped. And so he turns around and says, come on, we're going to end this in here. And Batman looks at him and goes, why would we do that? I don't have to do that. And then Batman barricades him into this room and then wanders off. So my question for you is, didn't he just basically kill that man?
Exactly.
I mean,
passively.
Wouldn't it have been nicer to actually kill him so he's not going to starve to death and have to eat his other hand or something?
Or maybe that's leaving open that, you know, the KG Beast, KG as he is, finds a way out.
Oh, no, it's absolutely comic booky leaving it open so he can come back as Bane. I mean, that's he escaped from the pit. I was born in a hole. Oh, I can't do
I was
Bane.
Born to darkness.
Yeah.
I was born to the darkness.
Oh, there it is. Oh, wait, that was something else. Sounded like a Muppet
weird.
there. Oh, it was like a Yoda Bane mashup.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, that was the question.
Yeah, no, he puts him, you know, I'll kind of like that Edgar Allan Poe thing, Cast of Amontillado, or I forget how you say it.
Count of Monte Cristo?
No, Cask of Amontillado. I forget how you say it. Where somebody gets bricked into a wall alive, and that's how he kills him.
Okay.
Something like I seem to remember that Edgar Allan Poe short.
Oh, yeah, Edgar Allan Poe. Why did I... Okay. Yes, there was one where they brick somebody up in a wall.
Yeah, so it doesn't want to actually, actively kill him, but all intents and purposes, death sentence. And also kind of smart, because if Batman were to, okay, yeah, let's go and finish this mano a mano, Batman gets his ass kicked and probably gets killed.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying that he should have tried to fight him to the death, because he probably would have lost, because he had been getting his ass kicked by him throughout the thing.
Every single time.
Yeah. The only thing, he even admits at one point that the only reason, the first time they meet, they're on the rooftop, they're fighting, and the Beast thinks that he's got reinforcements, so he runs off. And Batman admits, if he didn't leave, I probably wouldn't be around anymore. He was winning that sucker. And he's basically Batman-like with all the planning, with all everything. I hate to tell all the Batman files, but the Beast could kill Batman if he decided that was his job. If that had been his prey, would Batman be dead?
I'm going to say yes. Absolutely. Yeah. No, it was
See, now
clear that Batman was overmatched.
Yeah, now I want somebody to write that arc. I mentioned, why don't they bring him back? They made Bane out of him, but he's still there. How did he get out of the hole? that he was barricaded in, because he's not dead, because unless you see a body in comic books, they're not dead. And even if they are, there's Lazarus pits in this world. So how did he get out? And how does he come back? And how does he kill Batman?
Yeah, well, and you know what? I didn't do any kind of research. Google, even Wikipedia, had nothing. I think this is the only appearance of said KG Beast, and I'm kind of surprised nobody's done something with it, given how often they go back to the different wells and mine older characters like this. Why not bring back Bane? Is not the KG Beast. Bane is different. Just bring back a different character.
No, I know. I literally gave you an arc. I said this is how they could bring him back, because we know we know.
No, I agree.
The
I'm
Beast is more powerful and can kill Batman. Maybe the end of that arc is he leaves Batman trapped in a room.
Right. Well, yeah, but here's the other thing. They kind of already, with Bane, when Bane breaks Batman's back, they kind of already did that, right? So, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they don't go back to that well over and over and over again.
No, they don't.
They don't do the same thing. I mean, good Lord. Come on. And I'm not, again, that's just comic books. I am not, that is not only Batman. I mean, we talked about Spider-Man last episode, and same kind of thing. Same things happen over and over and over and over again. Aunt May has died 72 times in the comics. I counted. And brought back every time. So I just think there's an opportunity there to update this.
I think you're right.
I think the KG Beast is just as good a character as Bane. That's faint praise on Bane.
Yeah, you're throwing shade here.
Yes.
One thing also I thought I wanted to mention is, of course, the KG Beast's his Robin is an Iranian
war criminal
terrorist.
Yes, Iranian war criminal terrorist.
Naveed Salim.
Yeah.
And of course, does he die in a failed suicide bombing? Of course,
he does. That is, Robin saves the top of the building.
That's right.
He was dieharding the top of the building. They were going to blow up the roof of the hotel where Ronald Reagan was supposed to be. Or no, that wasn't Ronald Reagan. It was going to be somebody else. But he's flying in on a hang glider. Holy crap! They predicted 9/11.
Oh God, is that too soon?
I think it's okay, because it's our podcast.
Okay.
So he's flying in on a hang glider covered in just a suicide vest, and Jason Todd, thank you for pointing out who it was, comes swinging in on the line and kicks him into the side of the building. So the only thing damaged was windows and himself. Yeah. So evidently it's okay to allow someone to blow themselves up and to lock someone in a room to die alone.
Yeah.
Look,
pretty much.
I got no problem with killing a guy that's just massacred that many people on the KG Beast. It's just the whole Batman doesn't kill. But I mean,
unless he needs to.
It's that whole Batman Begins, I don't have to save you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fair too. You don't.
True. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. Jim Starlin, the same Jim Starlin that would eventually, or had he already written Thanos? Isn't Jim Starlin the guy that came up with Thanos? Am I making that up?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, I just thought that was interesting. That he had a stint on the Batman comic. I'm almost positive. Hold on.
Okay. Welcome to our reoccurring segment, Hav Types. Hav Types, brought to you by the Public Library.
Yay! Yeah, amongst others. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, okay, sorry, weird tangent on my part. I should have looked some of this stuff up before, maybe. Yeah, co-creator of Thanos, Drax the Destroyer, Gamora, Shang-Chi for DC Comics. He's best known for his stories revamping characters like Captain Marvel and Adam Warlock. So he's had his hand in some stuff. No,
he's a very good writer. There were things about this. There was nothing in it I disliked. Let's put it that way. Nothing spoke to me about it. Although I did have a screenshot. Let me find the screenshot I took. There was something in it. Let's see if I can pull this up.
Oh, did I just go dead? Gosh darn it.
No, you're still here. You just seem to be on a bit of a delay. Okay.
Well, while you're doing that also, this was edited by the great Dennis O'Neil, who was a long-time Batman creator, writer, editor. Was also known for his run on the Green Lantern, Green Arrow series with Neil Adams back in the 70s, where they're just kind of palling around America. And it's very socially conscious.
That's a very famous arc in comics.
Yeah.
So there was a scene that I enjoyed. At one point, they're in a hotel and they jump onto an elevator, and Batman makes sure he stays on it. And the elevator stops, and the KG Beast is flinging cinder blocks down into the elevator. It actually kills someone, and Batman is climbing up the cable holding the elevator up to go get him. And one of the things the scene is he's going after him, and Batman is thinking to himself, and in one of the thought bubbles he says, "You can always tell a good hotel by the way the staff foresees and attends to the every need of their guests."
That's very Adam West.
I absolutely, I actually really like that. I was like, okay, that's hilarious. I'm like, well, this is billionaire Bruce Wayne. He's like, he knows what a...
They better turn down my bed.
Yeah, and anything I want at a hotel, a good hotel I go to, they see to my needs.
Yeah, that is funny. No, and you know what? Here's what I did. I didn't take any screenshots. I have my notes here, but there wasn't a lot of note taking to do. I did make this one note though before we move on.
Okay.
That going back to the art, which I know you say not a big deal for you, but there is some really good sequential art storytelling in this. Especially, I remember I made a note in the first 2 issues of this 4-issue arc. There are 2 or 3 pages where it's just the art telling the story. You see the chase, the different chases and things happening, and then there's hardly any words used, which I thought was just kind of cool and neat to observe and appreciate.
Especially for the 80s, where there was lots and lots of block text throughout the rest of it.
As opposed to Chris Claremont X-Men, where it is seemingly 90% of the panel is thought bubble, and then there's like a little bitty picture in the corner.
Oh no, there was a lot of text going forward. There was a lot of text in that. It was definitely 80s, and some of it... Oh, wait, no, never mind. I think I'm thinking of the X-Men thing that I read that you suggested. The 2 issues in the city.
Yeah, we should talk about that in a second.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. But no, again, this was a nostalgic... I said that too many times. I remember this fondly, and yeah, for what it is and when it was set, it's a nice little beginning, middle, end story.
Sure. It's an okay piece of comic book. I see why it was that I had to go to the ends of the earth to find the 4 issues, because it's not something that they're going to run together as a graphic novel. It's not going to be something you get at the library. It's just 4 random ass issues in a Batman run.
I don't know that it's ever been collected, to your point.
I'm pretty sure it would surprise me if it had. It's only 4 issues, and there's nothing that... There were 4 decent issues by a decent writer. Does that make sense?
And it's a decent writer, good artist, great, in my opinion, my favorite Batman artist, and because of time when I was reading comics, but also probably fell victim to, well, it's very set in the time period, but comes right after Batman Year One, which is now very highly well regarded and collected and re-released every so often. And then not very long after this, you have A Death in the Family, which again, collected, and out of that you spawn Red Hood when Jason Todd comes back, and that's because it took on a life of its own because of everybody voting to kill Robin, Jason Todd at the time. So it's right in that nether region of, it was a good 4-issue filler in between some really big Batman stuff going on back then.
Yeah, not that many people voted, and they didn't. And Jason Todd dying didn't win by that many. I did not look it up, but this is what I remember.
Okay.
If I am incorrect, you can send us an email at havandcharlestalkcomics@gmail.com, and we will read it. We will. That I'll fact check.
Yes, gosh darn it, we will. You're damn right we will.
So I just kind of feel that you chose this one because I've liked 2 things that you've suggested the last 2 podcasts, and you're like, fuck it.
No, I'm going back to the 80s, baby.
Fuck him. He's had too much fun doing this podcast the last couple of episodes. Let's get back to what we are about.
I do like, well, you know what? I do like going back and rereading.
Was this nostalgic?
Yeah, I do like going back and reading stuff. Gosh darn it. I do like going back. It was selfish. I remember this arc. This arc, and I was curious to go back and reread it, and I was pretty sure it was going to land about the way it's landed for both of us. Just so you know.
Yeah,
but I still wanted to do it.
I don't have anything bad to say about it. I'm not. I probably would have. I'm trying to think of what. Okay, that was 1988. You said so. What? Ooh, I think that was at the end. I think I wasn't really reading comic books then. What? 1988. I was 15. So I don't think I was reading comic books anymore. Maybe I was.
Yeah.
Maybe I was still reading some. But I don't know if that would have floated my boat that way at that point. But then I was never really a big Batman guy.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I like the Bat family better than I do Batman himself. Dude needs a therapist.
You think? He dresses like a bat?
No, I don't kink shame. I'm just talking about the other issues.
Gotcha.
You and your kink shaming, dude. That's just not cool.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Oh, and I can't say, I mentioned it already once, but the Mike Zeck covers are really cool. And I do like the cool covers on this 4-issue run.
Okay.
Which also stood out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Everything about this arc was very well done. It just was a 1988 comic that had way too much politics in it to be that entertaining. I think that's why when they revamped him into Bane, they were like, oh, wait a minute. We got to get rid of all this.
Well, and by the way, I'm not saying they revamped him into Bane. Bane and him have a lot of similarities.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's always... I mean, comic books are all about stealing things from other things.
Yeah.
That's just the way it evolves.
Green Goblin, Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
A little similar, you think?
Yeah, a little bit.
Before we jump into your suggestion, do you want to talk for a second about those 2 issues I suggested after we read Spider Island?
Absolutely.
So I suggested you read Uncanny X-Men numbers 190 and 191, which was just a 2-issue arc of when this sorcerer Cullen Gath takes over Manhattan and sets everybody back into like olden times. I don't know how to say it, like Middle Agey times, would you say?
Yes, sure. Why not? It's some amorphous like Middle Age that never existed.
Yeah. But where his wizardry reigns supreme,
yes.
Everybody in Manhattan is still true to their nature, but otherwise doesn't know that that everything's wrong, except for Spider-Man.
Yes, Spider-Man is immune, and Spider-Man really does not have that much going on in this other than getting the shit beat out of him and crucified. Literally crucified. Not like figuratively. He was literally crucified. He had nails through his hands and his feet, and he is nailed to a cross.
It's pretty over the top.
Yes.
And this is all revenge because apparently Spider-Man had dispatched Cullen Gath in some arc I'd never read before.
I'd never heard of Cullen Gath till I read this thing.
Well, and I came to find out that Cullen Gath is actually a Conan the Barbarian, part of the Conan the Barbarian property, and Marvel doesn't have the rights, or those rights come and go.
Yeah.
And so you haven't seen a lot of Cullen Gath since this 2 issues. The big players are the X-Men, especially Storm. So you have Rachel Summers is a big player. You have Callisto, the leader of the Morlocks. You got Colossus on the X-Men, Rogue, then the Avengers, Wasp, Captain America, Star Fox. I'm missing people. But anyways, what did you think? I'm curious, what did you think?
I did not enjoy that much. It took me 2 weeks to wade through 2 issues.
Oh, no.
Well, I read the first one, and it was dense text it made, to me, very little sense. It wasn't very entertaining. And then I decided to finish it this evening after I finished Batman. I've not been reading well for the last 2 weeks. It took me a while to get through this stuff. Well, it took me a while to start Batman. I read it pretty quick when I did. But this one, I just was not... The only thing I enjoyed about it... Well, I enjoyed some stuff about it, but mainly I enjoyed the fact that Callisto and Aurora were still fighting just like they were, which was going to end up... That was the same fight that was going on when they get to the Mutant Massacre. So at least we'd read that schlock at one point, so I had known something.
This predates. Yeah,
this predates that. But the whole thing, and even now we did some magic, and this never happened, and no one died. And Spider-Man wasn't even there after being nailed to a fucking cross. Doctor Strange didn't even have him in there. He's just like, nope, never happened, so I guess not. It's like, dude.
Yeah, that was a quick end to that 2 issues.
Yes.
You're like, and it never happened. And the only people that are going to remember that any of that happened are in this room.
Yeah, and that was like what? Captain America, Doctor Strange, Storm, Callisto,
Some of the X-Men,
Rachel Grey, I think.
Yeah.
Rasputin's and his sister.
Yeah,
Ileana. I think that was about it. I see why. Honestly, I see. I'm sorry. I'm being a little harsh on it, just because it just didn't float my boat. And it did have that problem that you were talking about with Claremont. All of this and the pseudo bad dungeon master text in that was really grating on me. It was such bad writing on the "thine shall be with me till thine powers are." I'm like, oh fuck me. So that was probably more.
Well, don't hold back, Charles. How did you really feel?
We can't always be nice.
I see, and you know what? On rereading it, we're gonna have to agree to disagree. I liked it. I still liked it.
I see why.
Because again, speaking of, this is right in the middle. This is in the middle of my wheelhouse.
Say nostalgia one more time.
Do you dare me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. You're gonna go Samuel Jackson on me? Yeah. I dare you. Say nostalgic one more time. It also sets up so Celine is the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club, and she plays a big role in this.
Okay,
and she
is that
mind
who that
manipulates.
was? Okay, I forgot about that. They talked about that in the first comic,
right.
And then I forgot about it because I literally read the first comic. I think started reading the first comic right after we did the last podcast, so almost 2 weeks ago, and then I finished reading the second one today. So thank you. I remember.
Gotcha.
I remember that.
Well, and so she manipulates Rachel Green. Sorry, Friends reference there. Yeah. Wow. Rachel Summers / Rachel Gray, the alternate universe daughter of Scott and oh my God, I'm blanking on Marvel Girl's first name from the X-Men. Okay. Anyways, Rachel Summers. You're not gonna help me out.
Flounder.
You're not gonna.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, thank you.
If I knew it, I'd pop right in.
Anyway, so but this sets up.
We have a comic book podcast, ladies and gentlemen. A comic book podcast.
Jean Summers.
There it
is. Jean Grey. Jesus Christ. Jean Grey. Jean Summers.
Well, she was Jean Summers in some universe.
In some universe where they had Rachel.
Yeah. Anyway.
Where they had a baby. So Celine, the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club, manipulates Rachel Summers, and then later on in this run. Chris Claremont's huge long run on X-Men, but a few issues later, Rachel gets pretty darn upset about what happened, back then, and she decides she's going to go kill Celine. Straight up, going to go kill her. And Wolverine, of all people, stops her by stabbing her. Rachel.
Well, I mean, it's important to stab someone when they're about to commit murder.
Yeah, but it's just a real. So just very Chris Claremont-y to. He's always weaving stuff, he's calling back to something because that doesn't happen for like 4 or 5 issues.
Mm-hmm.
That happens like in issue like 199 or something. I was scrolling through. Yeah, it takes a while to get there because this is issues number 190 and 190.
So you're saying he's the Dan Slott of X-Men?
Yeah, or Dan Slott is the Spider-Man writer of X-Men. Yeah,
I was because Dan Slott does a lot of that building and just all of a sudden. This little thing that happened here pays off over here.
Right.
20 issues later. And you're like, wait, what? Yeah. So
yeah.
Lots of good writers do that. And Claremont is a good writer. The X-Men were just never I told you when we did the Mutant Massacre, I was very embarrassed because I was horrified at how bad I found the New Mutants, which was the book I read regularly, and how much better the other ones were, which I didn't read. So I was more embarrassed about me than...
But Chris Claremont was a writer of Uncanny and New Mutants back then.
Oh, was he? Okay.
So
that's fine. That's not. But I'm saying the New Mutants were in the Mutant Massacre one were not very good.
No,
I mean
they were very secondary.
They were better than Daredevil. Don't get me wrong.
That was just a weird issue.
Daredevil should have never been in there. But remember when Sabretooth kidnapped a woman and kept her as his mate, She said he never hurt her. That was the
Right.
oh sorry, that was with beyond a doubt the dumbest thing in that comic, and that says a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked
And
about.
and by the way, the second issue was called Raiders of the Lost Temple. By the
Oh
way,
dear Lord, awesome.
just so you know.
I appreciate you telling me that. I can't believe I missed that. So let's talk about Gwenpool.
Yeah, let's do that. Yay, Gwenpool.
Did you like Gwenpool?
Yeah, it's good. It's
Fluff?
a cool, fun, but it can be dark because
What? It can be
it
dark.
can be. Yeah, it can be
What
fun
her
and dark.
her randomly killing people and not caring if
Just
anybody dies
because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. She's in a comic book. So Gwenpool, to explain to Hav, is not Gwen Stacy. I cannot stress this enough. She is not Gwen Stacy. She is Gwen, first name, Pool, last name. She is from basically our universe, and somehow she has ended up in the 616.
Which they never explain.
No,
do
well,
they?
not. Well, they do later, but yes, in this arc, they don't. We start out in it.
It's a Christmas special, right?
Well,
I think the archive. Howard the Duck's involved.
Well, yeah.
Did you read that one?
Yeah, no. It starts out with issue 0, and that's Howard the Duck.
That's
yeah.
okay. That's the Howard the Duck issue.
Because someone comes in and demands. Well, not someone. The Black Cat comes in. Selena. Wait. I was going to say.
You're thinking of Selena. You're thinking of Selena Kyle.
Yes, I am. I'm thinking of who they ripped the Black Cat off of, which is Cat Lady.
Catwoman.
Yeah. Cat or incorrectly Cat Lady.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
yes, so the Black Cat is in there demanding that he steal back something that she took from him, and that find the person that stole it, and she's going to kill that person. It turns out it's Gwenpool, who was hiding under his desk. So
Right. And she sold this. By the way, you're on a pandemic, epidemic, virus kick because that's what she stole. She stole some agent that was going to cause like mass disease if released into the populace. And what does Gwenpool do? She sells it to Hydra
Oh yeah, just flat sells it to Hydra. Here, take it.
because she doesn't have any money.
The Avengers will take care of it. She knows what goes on in this universe. The Avengers will take care of it. There's a scene. You said, where'd she come from? So there's a scene where she and Howard the Duck are talking as they're walking through a graveyard at the end of the issue, and Howard says, "How'd you get here anyway? Mine was a reality nexus." She replies, "Portal in the back of my wardrobe. Come on, seriously. I don't know. A tornado brought me here. Tell me." I fell in a hole chasing a rabbit. Chasing a rabbit.
Nice.
Fine. So
That's
they
awesome.
do not address it at all in this arc, which is fine because they're just having fun with it.
Yeah.
So it answers some questions. Well, basically the way that works out is she realizes in that first comic, she realizes that, oh crap, the Avengers are out of town. They're in space like they always are when something goes on in a lower level hero has to do something. And she rescues it, and shenanigans occur, including the great scene that opens, I think, the second episode where she looks at the...
Or issue.
Yep. The part 2 of 3, Miss Pool, if you're nasty, turns to duck and says, "Ducks can fly, right?"
Oh no, it's you know what, it's a lot of fun, and I'm not trying to stop. It's just I want to reiterate there. I was mentioning there's some dark stuff because she comes to think differently, but at first she's like, "Fuck all, it doesn't matter. This is the 616. This is a comic book," and she's just acting as such.
Well, she realizes she has to, because she's looking around and she realizes that as just a person, just people get killed in the Marvel universe. If bystanders get killed all the time.
Well, and that's when she decides she doesn't want to be a secondary. She needs to be a main character.
Yeah, she has to have her
to
own book.
To keep her own book so she doesn't freaking get killed.
Uh-huh.
So she's doing everything she can. She's efforting to do that. And then she ends up, I forget the order. She ends up at Big Ronnie's costume
she
warehouse.
Goes to Big Ronnie's custom battle spandex. I've tweeted out this before. This is where I got that because Caesar was asking where they get their costumes. in the Black Widow episode we did.
Yeah.
And that's where they do. Big
Ronnie.
Yeah, Big Ronnie's custom battle spandex. And she makes her, is it a pink outfit? Yes.
Yes. Without any legs.
Without any
bare
legs. Yes, she has bare legs.
Yeah. And you mentioned Big
and by
Ronnie
bare he means
is
naked.
a
They're
woman.
not like really hairy and bear-like. They're bare B-A-R-E.
Yes. No, she has legs like a animal, the bear. It's a weird character design.
With bare legs.
So she doesn't have any superpowers. Besides knowing that this is a 616, she doesn't have any superpowers.
Yeah. And so she's taking jobs as a mercenary through Big Ronnie.
Right.
And I mean she is it the Christmas? There was a Christmas arc where there was a Christmas party and she went to. Is that the one where she goes after the two-sword guy? Because she has to go get two swords? Yeah, so she goes off to fight this. Basically, it turns out to be this giant snake with two swords. Arms and two swords. Just serpent
She's
thing.
way overmatched.
Yeah, she's completely overmatched. And she had taken a video tutorial on swords. And there was a funny little bit about that. And then she gets there... And then she admits that she didn't know what the hell she was doing and just blows him up because she can get explosives.
And that starts to be her go-to move.
Yeah, well,
that
would be my go-to move. I can't fight my way out of a paper bag.
She also kills... I'm not sure. I kept on reading. That's how much I enjoyed this. Uh-huh. I read past I think I read the first 2 volumes of this that were available on Hoopla, provided to you by your public library in your burg.
I wish you'd have told me that because I would have continued. I've read it before, so you can talk about it, but I would have... I told you, let me know if you were going to read the second one, because I'd read it.
Sorry, I should have. But in this first arc, she meets Cecil, I believe. Am I wrong about that? I think it's in this first arc. Cecil is with some of his family members. He's the IT guy, and they're trying to rob a bank. Does Gwen kill all his family members? Or
she
kills all his family members.
She is in a bank trying to open a checking account because she got a check for one of her jobs and she can't do it because she does not exist in this universe. She is from our universe. She's not insane like people think she is. I mean, she is kind of insane, just like any of us would be if we dropped into the damn 616.
Right.
But she can't get it, and while she's there, it's being robbed. So she kills every one of the bad guys or the robbers. Except
for Cecil, who's in the getaway car. He's the IT guy. Uh-huh. And then they're getting arrested, but the cop has this weird revelation, epiphany that decides, you know what, I'm done with this shit. Here, I'm letting you guys go and take my cop car. And Gwen's like, sweet, this is working out great. And by the way, Cecil, you're gonna be my right arm, right
my guy
hand
in
man.
The chair.
Yeah, my guy. You're gonna be my guy, and he is.
He is for all of
an
one
issue or two?
Yeah, one issue because she has bad juju. She takes a job that she shouldn't take that was already being done, but she just murders the guy who did it and ends up
who happens to be working for
MODOK.
MODOK. Yeah. MODOK's not very happy about that.
No, and he instantly kills Cecil. Just murders Cecil. Bang, Cecil's gone, never to be seen again. Never to be seen again.
Except for how many panels later?
See, I'm just telling you, he just can't help it. We can't even get to the point where they bring him back. He's just like, nope.
Because it happens like not even the next issue. I think it's later that issue.
No, it's like it's a whole nother issue because she's got to get.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, I mean, good Lord, man. Are you bleeding
I thought it was
to
like
death?
later that
Dude,
issue.
watching you do that is just gross as hell. I just want... Hav has something on his elbow, and he's holding it up, basically so I can see it, and he's licking his finger and rubbing it. I mean, it's just...
I don't know how I scrape my elbow.
I don't know either, but stop showing it to me and stop trying to lick it.
I'm not trying to lick my elbow.
I know you do know you can't lick your elbow, so you're licking your finger and rubbing it, and then licking your finger and rubbing it. I mean, it's just.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. So yeah, sorry, but I thought he got brought back like that.
No, it was a few issues later. But I knew you were going to do that. So they have to. Because they killed the heavy hitter from MODOK's team, she has to take over for that. So she is now with absolutely no superpowers, no fighting skill, no nothing. She is on a team with Batroc the Leaper.
Correct.
Some
Terrible
magic chick.
eye.
Okay, the terrible eye. Some weird chunky tech
Megatony.
guy.
Megatony. The science guy.
The science guy. And they have to do his bidding.
Yeah.
And they do. And Batroc the Leaper immediately realizes that she has no powers whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, that was quicker than just all bejesus. That it just like, wait a minute. So he's going to turn her in, and then instead he starts training her. It's kind of fun. I like, as you move through, she and the two of their camaraderie. It builds, and it's nice. They meet Girl Thor at one point.
Right.
In which
when they're doing a job for
yes,
MODOK.
they're doing a job for MODOK, and she's trying to save the person they're trying to kill.
This druid guy. Not Dr. Druid,
yes.
but a druid.
Yes. And there's a scene where she yells out, "Jane!" which makes Thor freeze. And pretty much about to kill her, and she's like, "What did you say?" I said sprain. I said sprain. When we're injured, we yell out that we're injured, so our teammates know. So it was great because there was a infestation that Thor was trying to cure using the druid, and they needed it, but Gwen manages to somehow distract her, and they killed the druid. So she distracts Thor, and then they kill the druid. And before Thor can destroy them, they convert the druid's essence, which is all they need that Thor needs to fight the bad trees or whatever, the infestation. They turn him into a spray bottle, and it's one of those things I screenshot, which I absolutely love. A portal opens, and Thor goes into it and says, "Come, wicked plants, wither at the touch of Thor's spray bottle."
Yeah. Well, and Megatony, I think, in combination with Terrible Eye, figure out how to do that.
Yes.
And make the spray bottle. Like, here you go. You can still save your...
You can save it. We did our job, so MODOK will not kill us. And you did yours. And we'll get paid.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what order it's in. Either right before... I think it was before that run-in with Jane Foster Thor, the Christmas party issue, where... The friendship between Gwenpool and Miss Marvel starts, which then I read more about later on in the second volume. They kind of pick that back up, where they're kind of start hanging out at this Christmas party.
Oh, Miss Marvel.
Kamala Khan.
Yes. Yeah. No, they're buddies. If you keep reading, she also meets Miles Morales.
Yes.
Okay, so you got into that too, because Miles is you're a bad guy. Miles is not as cool with her as...
Yeah, well, especially since she's dropping all sorts of knowledge and...
Oh yes, like knows who everyone is.
Yes, yeah. And then what else? There's another funny part, and I think it's in this first volume, where she's on a job for some mutants that are being attacked by some sentinels.
Yes.
And she remembers the video game about how there's like some pattern to their attack.
Yes.
And she remembers it,
so
and there's like really good
pattern.
Yes. It's like that thing where you'd have to go wait 2 seconds and then hit, AAA and then squat, wait for them to shoot their art.
Yes. Yeah, because she was a major comic book nerd in her universe, in our universe.
Yeah, exactly. So lots of cool stuff. Speaking of Cecil, and I thought it was in that same issue. The reason she gets Cecil back is because, how does she get in contact with Doctor Strange?
So Big Ronnie is feeling bad. There's another great screenshot I got. Gwenpool is standing outside of Big Ronnie's custom battle spandex and saying, "Better not be a backup for those Turd-X kids who wouldn't pay me," because she didn't get paid for that job because she destroyed too much. And Ronnie is in the back saying, "Ronnie, you are very irresponsible with girl who thinks she in book. Then again, you also make costume for blind man who think he can see with ears. Big enabler, Ronnie." I love the Daredevil reference. Oh, and there's a brilliant sign in the thing that has pictures of stars, and it says Captain Marvel, and things get costumes. I mean, it's just these cutout things where they might have said, Spider-Man, I have been here. Daredevil, I'm told it looks good. Which is just great. So she can't get paid. She can't give her. She has to give MODOK her social security card. So
and he can't find her.
He can't
and that's
find her anywhere.
troubling MODOK.
It's bugging him that she is so not on the radar. And so she goes to Big Ronnie and she's talking. And Big Ronnie makes a deal with her that she's going to give her this wonderful, wonderful gift, sell her this wonderful gift, and it's a consultation with Dr. Strange. It turns out when Dr. Strange shows up that he can only do so much because, this was just a Secret Santa type gift that he gives out. The hour consultation with Dr. Strange. Yeah. I loved that. And he understands that she's from another universe, so she explains to him that what he can do is he can pull some part of her into this universe so she can be a person here as well, but she's going to lose stuff in her universe. And she's like, go ahead, let's do that. Because he's trying to explain to her that this is a real universe. It's the leakage of what goes on here is coming into your universe just in comic books. But this is real. We're real people here, you sociopathic monster. I mean, he didn't put it like that, but that's kind of the idea behind it.
Well, and he points out, speaking of some of the darker aspects of this, like she being just a kind of serial killer at some level, or not at any level. She's just killing people because she has no regard for life in the 616. But he points out that, hey, if I do this, your family may forget you in your universe. And she was like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad.
Yes.
That she's willing to just say, you know what, I'd rather just be in this make-believe.
Yeah, she's in her element.
So, so then he's helping her gain some kind of presence, identity in the 616, but then how does Cecil come about? Because I am it's been a little bit since I read this.
She asked him. She asked him about that, and he said that would be a possibility, and then it comes to a point where she really needs him, and that happens when MODOK figures out that she's faking everything and that she's not who she is, and MODOK's going to kill her. Because that's when she brings him back because he's a hacker, and she needs to hack MODOK. And
that's right.
That's when they basically shoot MODOK into space.
Yep. Yeah, now she's in charge.
Over. Now she is in charge.
She's in charge, and I love MODOK. The character design is so over the top. There's a TV series I haven't watched. Have you watched any of the TV series?
I watched the first episode. I kind of enjoyed it. I'm hoping it gets better. Patton Oswalt does it. I love Patton, but it's just not my comic. That's my only problem with it. This and a real Hawkeye arc that they did a few years ago is the only things I've ever really read with MODOK in it. So I read
a Captain America arc from way back when in the 80s that I think MODOK was in for some reason.
And who I mean by the real Hawkeye, right?
Kate Bishop, I know. You don't, yes. Oh my gosh.
Say her name. Okay.
Get a room, would you?
Oh no, dude, that's just creepy. She's way too young.
Oh, okay. Not
I just respect
character.
Well, yeah, you have appropriate crushes.
Okay.
Spider-Woman.
There we go.
I'm into Spider-Woman.
Hey.
She's a hot mess. I like that.
Well, it's better than your Aunt May thing. Let me just say that. Your 616 Aunt May thing.
Nope. No, not 616 Aunt May. Marissa Tomei Aunt May.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, don't try to say it. It's always been Marissa Tomei. Your Aunt May thing goes back.
Nope, never had an Aunt May thing. I've always actually been a Mary Jane guy. That kind of worked me. Yeah, I know. You're all right.
MODOK stands for Mental Mobile Mechanized Organism Designed Only for Killing.
Yes.
Tell me if that's not a boatload of stuff.
That's just comic book brilliance. It is just so comic book.
Yes.
It is fun. MODOK is fun. That's what the episode I watched of the MODOK show was fun. And I really do need to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Claymation? God, I want to say it's claymation.
Ooh,
except
it
might not be. Oh, it may not be. This might be just my brain playing tricks on me.
It might be. Well, is it animation made to look like claymation?
It's not live action. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got you. That's what I figured. I have not seen a preview.
Okay.
For it. So
it was a lot of fun. I did enjoy it. I should go back and watch it. There's a lot of death in it. Surprisingly, for someone designed only for killing.
Hey. Who knew? Well, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I did read further into it. This arc ends with her taking charge of the group and kicking MODOK into space? Or does it end a little further?
I think that's pretty much where it ends.
Yeah.
That just kind of tailed off. As you get further and further than where you got, you'll learn a lot more about her. You'll learn more about where she came from a little bit. She'll have some arc growth one way and the other, and then she pops in and out because her book ends and then her book comes back. And she deals with that because she's well aware of that. Because she's in a comic book, and it gets to a point later on where she's like, okay, I have to do things to still stay around.
Relevant.
I gotta keep my numbers up, or I'm just gone. You don't exist unless your book is out there.
Well, and then I know you've already read all this stuff, so I'm not spoil anything for you.
Yeah.
There's a couple. She gets all the. Mostly Avengers, all the big hitters on an island for like a battle royale.
Yeah.
Which is great. And she shoots Bruce Banner in the head to get the Hulk to come and play. Uh-huh. Which is just over the top. And everybody thinks she's crazy, of course.
Because she is.
But at that point, speaking of her quote-unquote powers evolving, she's breaking the fourth wall all over the place, of course. And she's slipping in between panels and going back in the 616 timeline. And it's really cool.
So she does. Yes, she finds her power. Yeah,
she finds her power. She has a meet-up, team-up, face-off with Deadpool, which is cool. with Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman involved. A lot of cool stuff. Again, I was a little disappointed that on Hoopla they only had the first 2 volumes because it's my understanding there's like 5 volumes of her collected total.
Yeah, you can.
Unbelievable Gwenpool.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. You might also be able to get the hard copy at the library.
Yeah,
the
Gwenpool
public
Strikes
library.
Back. There's Unbelievable Gwenpool, which I read, and then you know what? I read the first 2 of the Unbelievable Gwenpool, maybe the first 2 volumes. I think. Gosh darn it, I'll have to go back and look. But anyways, I really enjoyed it. Thank you for recommending this.
You're welcome. Like I said, frothy fun. I mean, it was fun comic book goodness. There's no super dark themes in it. There's complete opposite of Batman. There was nothing to do with politics.
But there was a virus at the very beginning, which again, I think subconsciously you're bringing stuff in.
I really don't think it's a subconscious thing. I think it's just coincidence.
Okay. All right.
What did I suggest?
Subconscious works weird, man.
What did I suggest this time? Coming up?
Old Man Logan?
Old Man Logan. Yeah, I don't think that has a virus in it. It does have an apocalypse, but...
I was going to say, it's post-apocalyptic.
Hey, it's been a tough year and a half, dude.
It has. It has been a weird, tough, weird year and a half.
I guess almost...
That is for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. No, it was good. I hate to say this, but I wouldn't tell everybody, that all of you that listen, hey, go read 10 Nights of the Beast, the KG Beast Batman arc. I would say if you want something nice and fun and light, Gwenpool, it's a fun read. I poured through it. It was a pretty cool, fun thing to read. So there's that.
Yes, I concur. I think you should read Gwenpool if you want something fun, but not if you want something heavy. If you want something heavy, I'll give you some other Batman arcs to read, not even the Beast with Two Backs.
Yeah.
I did it again.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
So what are we
I don't know.
What are we reading next time?
Well, I already mentioned, you suggested that I read, and I always butcher the name, so Wolverine Old Man Logan, which is I think in a certain volume, it's a certain arc in the Wolverine title going on at that time.
It was. It just, they ran I forget how many comics it was, but they did an arc of an apocalyptic.
It was a good number.
Yeah, it was
5 or 6.
Yeah, it was enough to get the job done, and it is definitely a little dark. It's a lot of fun, and you've already read it, I know, but we won't talk about it now. We will circle back and do the podcast on it. But Hav was reading ahead, and he's like, "Give me the next one. Give me the next one. What do you got? What do you got?" So I gave him that, and he gave me Justice League the Nail. Something about nailing Superman to a cross and just absolutely doing the Messiah thing. No, it is an arc of Elseworlds where Superman doesn't exist. So it's the whole idea of the lack of a nail. The war was lost. The horse lost its shoe. The messenger didn't make it. The battle was lost. Because the battle was lost, the war was lost, and thus so lack the nail.
Yeah.
So
and just to be clear, you ended up reading both The Nail and Another Nail, or did you just read which I just meant just to read the.
I have not started. I have not read it at all. Well, no, I actually think I've read it, but I don't really remember much of it. But I have not read it again for the podcast. Okay. I was just saying we're just going to read that first volume that was three issues and 370,000 pages.
So no, I read it, and it's actually The Nail, and then there is a second volume, Another Nail.
Okay.
So up to you. If you
is that in that
300,
well,
yes.
Then we're gonna read all. You read all of that?
Yeah.
I'll read all of that.
I did.
Yeah, I'll read it. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you're gonna make me say it.
We can do high voice.
You're gonna make me say it.
What?
It's just picture books, Hob.
Yeah, just minimize. That's
I'm
what
not
you
minimizing.
do.
I love comic books, but let's not act as if it takes a full day and a half to read 300 pages like it does to read a 300-page novel.
You're absolutely right. Because you know what? And I sometimes forget that or don't, I see 300 pages like, Jesus, it's going to take all weekend. And it's like, it took like an evening.
Yeah.
Or an evening and a part of a morning if I decide to only read for an hour here and an hour there.
Exactly.
If that. So The Nail. So there you go. We got a plan for the next podcast. Anything else? Any housekeeping? Any other housekeeping matters other than to thank everybody for listening again?
We really appreciate y'all listening. We would be curious to know, again, if you want to send us an email. We were discussing before we got on the podcast to do the podcast that we were thinking about wrapping up season 1. So this is our 11th episode. Well, it's our 11th episode in the continuity, and we had the one bonus episode. So it's the 12th episode we've done in season 1. And we were thinking about doing this one and then another one and then taking a break for the holidays. If y'all would like us to do more, we might. We don't know exactly schedule-wise what we're going to be doing, so we might continue a little more, but we may be taking a break, just as a heads up, and then begin back in the new year. We would love to have suggestions. If any of y'all think there is a comic that y'all liked and you think we would like, any kind of arc, let us know. We would absolutely love to have an arc that someone else suggested. If it's good, we'll make it my suggestion. If we think it's bad, we'll have it be Hov's suggestion. We just want to keep the theme of the podcast fair.
Well, and Caesar, if you're listening and you suggest an X-Men arc, I'll just, I'll be here for you and for the X-Men to defend it against Charles's vitriol. Okay? Just so you know. I'm here for you, buddy.
I like the theme. I like the X-Men. I mean, the best comic book movie out there is Dark Phoenix.
That was uncalled for. We've apologized many times for that even happening. That's all I have to say about that.
Have you ever finished it? Have you ever finished it? I was
going to say, I don't think I have. I have tried 5 times.
The thing is, as bad as that movie is, if you can get there, the last 45 minutes of it aren't god awful. I know that sounds bad, but to say it like that. But if you watch that, you look at it and go, okay, you mean they could have made an okay movie? They had some stuff that could have been an okay movie, yet they did all of this that is almost impossible to get through.
It just baffles my mind how, X-Men, X2, I liked First Class. I liked Days of Future. What?
I did too.
Yeah, and I like Days of Future Past, or not? Was that what this? Yeah,
I even liked X3, but I know we're not supposed to.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, but those for sure, like those. But then you get, Oh,
yeah, yes. Yeah,
Apocalypse and look, I'm appreciative that they're making them, but then what that does set up, just is the Deadpool references to which Professor X are we getting, Patrick Stewart or McAvoy? Kind of stuff.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
No, that was fun, and it also sets us up because we're doing this as a standalone. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. I mean, they could do that. They could do a Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, and have, if they really want to reboot the X-Men universe, they could just do it with him killing all the X-Men,
killing everybody. Oh man. Okay. But again, hey, speaking of, I guess since Patrick did send an email, I owe Patrick a beer.
You do owe Patrick a beer, and I think a hand job. Was that the other?
Whoa, no. That was not. Jeez Louise. Oh, you are sexed up again. I knew it was going to come out.
This is why I have our podcast marked as explicit.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It doesn't mean anything, according to everything I read, but it means something later if people complain. Why? Charles keeps saying the F word. He says fuck a lot. And he talked about his penis. So, I mean, from what I read, it doesn't affect stats or anything else.
Gotcha.
They don't hide it. They don't do anything. But it's just hey, let's not have anybody. I just do want to. We are two adults talking about comic books, and we do say adult things at times about my penis.
True. No.
And evidently you got all excited about me poo-bearing it. And just for the record, in the last episode, I had pants on. You kept saying, "Well, you haven't answered that question, so I think
he never proved that."
I wore pants the entire podcast. It's this episode that you don't know if I'm wearing pants. You ready?
See?
You ready?
There you go. Uh-oh.
Pants.
Oh my God! Oh, now he's wearing pants. So no, and Patrick, if you want me to, I can send you something through Drizzly, or hey, you can come out and have a beer with me and your brother here sometime soon.
I hate to break it to you, Patrick doesn't drink beer.
Okay, well, there's that.
So
any beverage, no, but any beverage then that you would like, Patrick.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be alcoholic. It can be a non-alcohol beer or beverage if those things actually exist. Okay,
yeah,
so again,
non-alcoholic drinks do exist, Hav.
What? Are you sure? I don't know about that.
On a different note, Hav is now looking for another job. No.
All right. Well, hey, again, thank you everybody for listening. Please, like Charles said, suggest something, shoot us an email, give us any thoughts, comments, concerns. You're worried about Charles and his
overtly sexual actions.
Right, and just him going to the sex well way too often on the podcast. Hey, let us know how you feel about that. Okay?
It'll only encourage me.
That is true. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. We appreciate y'all listening. Bye.
Bye.